becoming your true self by destroying your ego. They told you to be yourself, but they never told you that the self you've been protecting is a cage. Every comfort zone you refuse to leave, every opinion you cling to, every identity you perform for the approval of others, that is not your true self, that is your ego. And your ego is the greatest enemy you will ever face. Not your rivals, not the system, not the people who doubt you. You, the version of you that needs validation, the version that flinches, the version that mistakes pride for power and feelings for facts. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to teach men how to be liked. He wrote it to teach men how to win. And the first battlefield is always internal. Before you can control a room, you must control your reactions. Before you can move people like pieces on a board, you must stop being moved by every word they throw at you. Before you can become untouchable out there, you must destroy what makes you weak in here. This is not a motivational speech. This is a warning. What comes next will challenge everything you think you know about strength, identity, and power. If you're ready, stay. If you're not, this channel was never for you. Drop the word sovereign in the comments right now if you're built for this. Part 1. The anatomy of the ego. Your ego whispers that you're special, that you deserve more, that the world owes you recognition. And while you're busy listening to that whisper, someone hungrier is moving. The ego is not confidence. Never confuse the two. Confidence is silent. It acts, it delivers, it needs no audience. The ego screams, it performs, it collapses the moment nobody's watching. Machiavelli understood human nature at its most brutal level. He knew that men driven by ego are predictable, and predictable men are controllable men. Your enemies don't need weapons against you. They just need to trigger your pride. One insult, one dismissal, one moment of disrespect, and the ego-driven man reveals everything. His anger, his insecurities, his limits. You become readable. And a readable man is a defeated man. The true self has no such weakness. It observes, it calculates, it remains unmoved while others spiral. Cold, precise, dangerous. That is the man you are here to become. Not louder, sharper, not angrier, colder, not more emotional, more strategic. Your ego is a leash. It's time to cut it. Comment cold mind if this is hitting different. Part 2. Machiavelli's first lesson. Strip yourself bare. Machiavelli sat in exile, stripped of power, stripped of title, stripped of everything Florence had given him and everything he had built. Most men would have broken. He wrote, and what he produced in that darkness became the most feared political manuscript in human history. Why? Because suffering forced him to see clearly. Exile removed the noise, the flattery, the illusion. And what remained was truth. That is exactly what destroying your ego demands. You must be willing to strip yourself bare. No titles, no reputation, no social mask, no story you tell yourself at night to feel significant. Just you. Raw, unfiltered, honest. Look at yourself without flinching. Where are you weak? Where do you perform strength instead of possessing it? Where does your pride cost you more than your enemies ever could? Most men never ask these questions because the answers are uncomfortable, and comfort is the enemy of evolution. Machiavelli didn't build his philosophy on what men wished they were. He built it on what men actually are, driven by fear, hungry for status, desperate for control. He saw humanity without the filter of sentiment, and that vision gave him power. You must do the same with yourself. Stop seeing who you wish you were. Start seeing who you are. Every flaw, every contradiction, every place where your actions don't match your self-image. That gap between who you pretend to be and who you actually are, that is where your ego lives. That is where your weakness hides. Close that gap, not with excuses, not with justifications, with ruthless self-awareness. Because a man who sees himself clearly can never be manipulated by illusion. And illusion is the primary weapon of every enemy you will ever face. Strip it all away. Comment stripped bare if you're ready to see yourself clearly. Part 3. The death of need, cutting the strings. Every man who has ever been controlled was controlled through his needs. Need for approval, need for love, need for recognition, need for belonging, need to be understood, need to be respected. These are not virtues, these are strings. And the moment someone identifies what you need, they own you completely. Without chains, without force, they simply hold what you desperately want just out of reach and watch you perform. Machiavelli watched princes fall, not to armies, not to conspiracies, but to their own desperate hunger for admiration. He watched powerful men bend their entire kingdoms to satisfy an ego that could never be filled. He watched rulers make catastrophic decisions, not from strategy, but from the unbearable need to feel powerful rather than be powerful. There is a devastating difference between those two things. Feeling powerful is addictive. It needs constant feeding, constant validation, constant proof. It is a fire that consumes everything around it and still screams for more. Being powerful is silent. It requires nothing from the outside world. It draws from an internal source that no one can poison, manipulate, or remove. The man who needs nothing from you frightens you. Think about that carefully. The most dangerous people you have ever encountered were not the loudest in the room. They were the ones who seemed completely unmoved, unaffected, unimpressed. They looked at the world, including you, with calm, calculating eyes that needed absolutely nothing you were offering. That stillness is not coldness. That stillness is power. To reach it, you must systematically kill every need that makes you controllable, one by one, methodically, without sentiment. Stop needing people to understand you. Operate anyway. Stop needing credit for your work. Build anyway. Stop needing permission to become who you are. Transform anyway. Cut every string. Burn every bridge of dependence. Because a man with no needs has no weakness. And a man with no weakness has no master. You answer to no one. Remember that. Comment no master if you're cutting every string starting today. Part 4. The silent rebuild. Constructing the iron self. Destruction without construction is just chaos. You have stripped yourself bare. You have identified the ego. You have begun cutting the strings of need. But now comes the part most men skip, because it is slower, harder, and far less dramatic than the breaking down. The rebuild. And this rebuild must be done in silence. Not silence as weakness. Silence as strategy. Machiavelli was explicit about this. A prince who announces his transformation invites interference. He invites mockery. He invites the people who benefit from his weakness to mobilize against his strength. Do not tell people you are changing. Show them a different person entirely. The iron self is not built through grand declarations. It is not built through motivational playlists or public commitments or inspirational posts that disappear by morning. It is built through small, deliberate, daily acts of discipline that nobody witnesses and nobody applauds. That is precisely the point. When you build in secret, you build without ego. There is no performance. There is no audience. There is only the work and the man doing it. And that man, forged in solitude and silence, becomes something the world cannot easily categorize or undermine. Machiavelli understood that power built quietly is power that lasts. Kingdoms announced too early collapse under the weight of expectation, but kingdoms built in shadow emerge fully armed. Your mind is your kingdom. Fortify it daily. Read what sharpens you. Eliminate what dulls you. Control what enters. Information, people, environments, conversations. A fortress does not open its gates to every visitor. Neither should your mind. Build your body with the same cold intention. Not for aesthetics, not for admiration. Because a disciplined body signals a disciplined mind. Because physical hardship teaches you that discomfort is survivable. Because every morning you choose difficulty over ease, you are voting for the man you are becoming. Build your emotional architecture. Practice non-reaction. When someone provokes you, pause, breathe, calculate. Respond only when response serves your agenda, never theirs. Build your financial independence. Dependency is vulnerability. Every man who controls your income has leverage over your life. Remove that leverage, ruthlessly and systematically. Build your circle with surgical precision. Every person in your life is either adding to your construction or eroding it. There is no neutral. There is no middle ground. Audit brutally. Remove without guilt. The iron self does not apologize for outgrowing people. It does not mourn connections that were built on the weak version of you. It simply moves forward, quietly, deliberately, unstoppably, because the man who rebuilds himself in silence arrives at power fully prepared, and preparation is the ultimate advantage. Comment iron self if you're building in silence right now. Part 5. The Mask and the Face. Machiavelli's Dark Gift. Machiavelli gave the world a gift that most people were too afraid to unwrap. He said, "A prince must know how to use both the beast and the man, both force and law, both the lion and the fox. Power without strategy is brutality. Strategy without power is fantasy. But the man who masters both becomes something the world struggles to defend against." He also said something that disturbed the comfortable and liberated the wise. Men judge by appearances, not by truth, not by character, not by what you have actually built or sacrificed or endured, by appearances, by what they see, by the story your presence tells before you speak a single word. This is not cynicism. This is reality. And reality is the only territory worth operating in. The ego-destroyed man understands this without bitterness. He does not rage against human nature. He does not wish people were more enlightened or more fair or more perceptive. He simply accepts the world as it is and uses it accordingly. He learns to wear the mask. Now understand this carefully, because most people misread this concept entirely. The mask is not deception for the sake of manipulation. The mask is strategic presentation. It is the conscious decision to show the world exactly what serves your objectives and nothing more. Weak men show everything, every frustration, every insecurity, every ambition, every fear. They are open books in a world full of readers who are looking for vulnerabilities to exploit. The man of true power reveals only what he chooses to reveal. He controls his narrative the way a general controls the battlefield, deciding what the enemy sees and what remains hidden behind the tree line. Your emotions are intelligence. Keep them classified. Your plans are weapons. Keep them loaded and concealed. Your pain is a forge. Keep it private and let it harden you. But here is where Machiavelli's dark gift reaches its deepest level. The mask only works when you know your face. When you have done the brutal internal work of destroying the ego and rebuilding the iron self, the mask becomes a tool, not a trap. Weak men wear masks and forget who they are underneath. They lose themselves in performance. They become hollow, controlled by the very image they created to control others. But the man who knows himself completely wears the mask with full awareness. He can put it on. He can take it off. He remains sovereign beneath it always. That is the difference between manipulation and mastery. Manipulation serves the ego. Mastery serves the mission. Know your face first, then choose your mask with precision. Show the world the lion when it needs to be moved. Show it the fox when it needs to be navigated. Show it stillness when it needs to be unsettled. And never, under any circumstance, show it your doubt. Doubt is the one thing you keep entirely to yourself. You process it, you examine it, you use it as data, but you never perform it. Because the moment the world sees your doubt, it stops fearing your certainty. And certainty is the foundation of all influence. Comment mask and face if you understand the difference between manipulation and mastery. Part 6. Cold emotions. Weaponizing your inner world. Most men are destroyed by their emotions, not because emotions are weak, but because they are uncontrolled, unexamined, allowed to run without direction, like fire inside a house with no exits. Everything burns, everything collapses, and the man stands in the ash wondering what happened to his life. Machiavelli was not an emotionless man. History misreads him constantly. He loved deeply. He suffered profoundly. He felt the sting of betrayal with every nerve in his body. But what separated him from ordinary men was not the absence of emotion. It was the architecture around it. He built walls, not to block feeling, but to contain it, to direct it, to convert raw human experience into precise, calculated energy that served his purpose rather than destroyed his position. That is the skill you must develop now. Cold emotions are not dead emotions. They are disciplined emotions. They are the difference between a river and a flood. A river has banks. It has direction. It carves through stone over time and reaches the ocean with quiet inevitability. A flood has no banks. It destroys everything indiscriminately, including the man it belongs to. Your anger is one of the most powerful forces you possess. But undirected anger makes you predictable. It makes you reactive. It hands your enemies a remote control to your behavior, one calculated insult, and they can redirect your entire energy away from your goals and into their theater of chaos. Weaponized anger is different. It is cold. It waits. It does not explode in the moment of provocation. It files the provocation away. It notes the source. It responds, not with heat, but with strategic consequence delivered at a time and place entirely of your choosing. That is not weakness. That is terrifying. Your grief is fuel. Every loss you have ever experienced contains an energy that the undisciplined man wastes in prolonged suffering. The cold strategist extracts it. He lets it burn underneath everything he builds. Let your losses make you relentless. Your fear is intelligence. It is your nervous system communicating real information about real threats. Do not suppress it. Do not perform bravery by pretending it doesn't exist. Examine it coldly. Ask what it is telling you. Extract the data, then act, not despite the fear, but informed by it. Your loneliness is clarity. The moments when you stand completely alone, stripped of distraction, company, and noise, are the moments your true self speaks loudest. Most men run from this silence. They fill it with screens, substances, and shallow connection. The man of power sits in it deliberately. He listens. He learns exactly who he is when no performance is required. Your love, guard it like classified information. Give it only where it is genuinely earned and strategically wise. Not because love is weakness, but because misplaced love is the most catastrophic vulnerability a powerful man can carry. History is littered with kings destroyed, not by armies, but by the wrong attachment. Every emotion you feel is data. Every emotion you express is a signal to the world about your internal state. Control the signal, and you control the narrative. This is not about becoming robotic. This is not about becoming hollow or disconnected from your humanity. It is about becoming the master of your humanity rather than its servant. The man who cries in public hands his enemies a weapon. The man who rages openly hands his enemies a map. The man who panics visibly hands his enemies a victory. But the man who feels everything and shows nothing strategic, that man is an enigma. And enigmas are never fully controlled. Be the river, never the flood. Direct everything, waste nothing. Because your inner world, disciplined and weaponized, is the most powerful arsenal you will ever possess. And no enemy can disarm what they cannot see. Comment cold river if you're ready to weaponize your inner world. Part 7. The power of disappearance, becoming untouchable. There is a move so powerful, so psychologically devastating to those around you, that most men never discover it because their ego won't allow it. Disappearance. Not running, not hiding, not retreat born from fear or defeat. Strategic, deliberate, calculated withdrawal from the spaces that no longer serve your ascent. The conscious decision to become less visible and therefore infinitely more powerful. Machiavelli understood scarcity. He understood that availability destroys mystique, that the prince who appears at every gathering, who responds to every provocation, who inserts himself into every conversation and conflict, becomes ordinary, predictable, easy to read, easy to dismiss. But the prince who disappears, who becomes suddenly inexplicably absent from the spaces people expected him to occupy, creates something far more powerful than presence ever could. He creates speculation. And speculation is the birthplace of fear. When people cannot see you, they imagine you. And what the human mind imagines in the absence of information is almost always more powerful than reality. They wonder what you are building. They wonder who you are becoming. They wonder whether your silence is indifference or preparation. They fill the void you created with narratives that make you larger than you actually are. Let them. The ego-destroyed man has no need to correct these narratives. He has no need to appear and explain himself. He has no need to be visible to feel relevant. His relevance is internal. His validation is self-generated. His identity requires no audience to remain intact. This is what makes him untouchable. You cannot attack what you cannot locate. You cannot undermine what you cannot observe. You cannot manipulate a man who has removed himself from your theater entirely. Disappearance is also the ultimate test of your ego's destruction. Because the ego craves visibility. It needs to be seen. It becomes anxious in absence. It whispers, what if they forget you? What if they move on? What if your silence costs you relevance? Silence that whisper. Permanently. Relevance built on constant visibility is fragile relevance. It requires endless maintenance. It collapses the moment you stop feeding it. But relevance built on scarcity, on the deliberate rationing of your presence and attention, compounds over time. Every appearance becomes an event. Every word carries weight. Every move is studied, because you have trained the world to pay attention when you surface. Disappear from social media for months and reappear with results. Watch how differently the world receives you. Disappear from toxic social circles and reappear with new levels of discipline and clarity. Watch how the dynamic shifts entirely in your favor. Disappear from the noise of other people's opinions and reappear knowing exactly who you are and precisely where you are going. Withdrawal is not weakness. Withdrawal is preparation meeting patience. The lion does not chase every animal across the plain. It conserves. It observes. It waits with absolute stillness until the moment of action is undeniable. Then it moves with total commitment and devastating efficiency. Be the lion. Disappear when others expect your presence. Appear when others least expect your power. Guard your energy with the ferocity of a man who understands that attention is currency, and currency spent carelessly creates poverty. Every moment you spend performing for an unworthy audience is a moment stolen from your construction. Every explanation you offer to people who have not earned your transparency is intelligence handed to potential enemies. Go silent. Go dark. Go deep. Build in the shadows until what you are creating cannot be ignored, undermined, or denied. Then emerge, not as the man they remembered, but as something they were completely unprepared for. Untouchable, unmovable, undeniable. That is the power of disappearance. And it begins the moment your ego stops needing to be seen. Comment gone ghost if you're ready to disappear and return as something they never expected. Part 8. The true self revealed. What remains after the fire. You have stripped the ego bare. You have cut every string of need. You have rebuilt in silence. You have mastered the mask without losing your face. You have weaponized your emotions into cold, precise instruments of power. You have learned to disappear and discovered that absence is more commanding than presence ever was. Now comes the question that everything has been building toward. When you burn away everything false, what remains? Most men never find out, because most men never have the courage to set the fire. They live their entire lives performing an identity constructed from other people's expectations, childhood wounds, cultural conditioning, and the desperate need to belong somewhere, anywhere, even if that somewhere slowly suffocates everything real inside them. They die wearing a mask they forgot was a mask. You will not, because you chose to stay, you chose to listen. You chose to walk through the discomfort of radical self-examination when every comfortable instinct screamed at you to look away. And that choice, that single defining choice, already separates you from the majority of men walking this earth. What remains after the fire is not what you expected. It is not a hardened, emotionless machine. It is not an isolated, cold strategist who has traded humanity for dominance. Those are the misunderstandings of men who read Machiavelli's surface without penetrating his depth. What remains is clarity, a mind that sees without distortion, that processes reality as it actually is, not as fear wishes it to be, not as ego needs it to appear, not as sentiment colors it, but as it is. Raw, unfiltered, completely legible. What remains is purpose, not the manufactured purpose of someone trying to impress the world or fulfill expectations assigned to them by others. Real purpose, the kind that operates at 3 a.m. when no one is watching and nothing external is rewarding the effort. The kind that pulls you forward like gravity, inevitable, constant, indifferent to obstacles. What remains is sovereignty, the absolute, unshakable ownership of your own mind, your own reactions, your own direction, and your own identity. No one granted it. No one can revoke it. It was always there, buried beneath the ego, beneath the performance, beneath the noise of a world that profits from your self-doubt. Sovereignty was always your birthright. The ego simply convinced you that you needed to earn it from the outside world. You never did. What remains is power. But not the power you imagined at the beginning of this journey. Not the loud, aggressive, chest-beating power that the ego mistakes for strength. Something far more refined, far more dangerous, far more sustainable. The power of a man who knows exactly who he is and cannot be convinced otherwise. The power of a man who needs nothing from you and therefore fears nothing you can take away. The power of a man whose identity is not tied to outcomes, opinions, titles, or the validation of people who have not earned the right to define him. This man is not invincible because nothing touches him. He is invincible because nothing moves him from his foundation. Machiavelli's deepest truth was never about cunning, never purely about strategy or political survival. Beneath every calculated observation he made about power and human nature was a man trying to understand what it means to remain yourself when the entire world applies pressure to make you someone else. That is the ultimate test of power, not whether you can conquer external enemies, but whether you can remain undefeated by the internal ones. The self-doubt, the inherited shame, the fear of genuine greatness, the unconscious loyalty to a smaller version of yourself because that smaller version felt safer and more familiar. Burn it all. What survives that fire is the truest, most formidable version of you that has ever existed. And that man, that sovereign, clear-eyed, unshakable man, was who you were always meant to become. The fire did not destroy you, it revealed you. Comment revealed by fire if you can feel who you're becoming.